welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Lisa Blair, and I'm a certified Warriors at Ease teacher. Today, I will be your guide through a gentle chair yoga class designed to de-stress and get in touch with breath. So, take a comfortable seat on your chair and feel your feet press into the floor. Backs of the legs press into the chair, lengthening the torso up. Invite your shoulders to move away from your ears, keeping the neck long and letting your hands rest on your legs. You can keep your eyes open or close them, maybe have a soft gaze down at the ground, whatever serves you. And let's start by getting in touch with breath. So just start by noticing the breath. If possible, keeping the mouth closed as you breathe helps to generate a little more heat. If you have any congestion or sinus issues going on and that wouldn't serve you, by all means, honor your body. And notice, where's the breath coming from? Does it feel like the breath is confined just to the chest, or does it feel like it's moving all the way down to the bottom of the lungs? You can bring your hands to your belly, fingertips pointing towards each other. And as you inhale, see if you can feel the fingers move away from each other as the belly expands, as breath moves all the way down to the bottom of the breathing capacity. And as you exhale, the fingers move back together. Full and steady. Release that. And now bring your attention to the quality of the breath. Does it feel like it could be a little deeper? Is it fully flowing from the top to the bottom? And filling from the bottom to the top, and completely, just as fully, emptying the breath out. What's the rhythm of the breath? Does it feel even? So start to count to yourself the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. And just noticing. No right number to arrive at. But just let your mind focus on that count. Letting go of that technique. Notice, does the inhale make you feel more rooted? Or does the exhale? Again, no right answer. And by rooted, as you breathe, feeling the feet into the floor, backs of the legs into the chair. Maybe feeling on the breath as though you're getting a little taller, crown of the head reaching up more towards the ceiling. Not necessarily that happening, but maybe just that feeling. And just noticing coming back to the natural breath. And knowing that bringing attention to breath, being mindful as we breathe, is a resource that we can use at any time. Maybe you're feeling a little less rooted, a little anxious, always a tool that you can come back to at any time, at any place. And let's start our initial yoga postures. This is a chair class. And it's designed to de-stress, especially if you've been sitting, working all day. You're thinking, oh, I've been in a chair all day. How is that going to relax me? So let's just bear with me as we go through these. So starting to look to the left, and I'll be mirroring you. And continuing to breathe. So maybe not taking it to your very furthest point to start with, just where you feel a stretch down the side of the neck, maybe even around the ear into the scalp, down the shoulder. And as you hold it, as you breathe, maybe it goes a little deeper. Again, you're in charge of this, so you're listening for the feedback from your body where your appropriate place to take it is. And then bringing it to the other side. And keeping the torso long, relaxing the face, unclenching the jaw. And as you breathe, maybe take it a little further. Back again to neutral, and bringing the left ear in the direction of the left shoulder. You can take the right arm, let it hang, and just let the weight of the head do the work. So not forcing it. Just nice, gentle stretch. So we start with the smaller muscles and build our way up, just so we were building a foundation for something bigger. And then taking it in the opposite side. Again, you can let the other arm just hang free. Very likely you'll start to feel your jaw unclench here. These neck warm-ups are great for loosening up the jaw, even the vocal cords. And just taking it to your edge. Back again to center, leaning forward slightly, letting the head drop, and keep keeping space in between the chin and the throat so that you aren't impeding the breath. Maybe let the shoulders round down, let the spine decompress. And just looking down at the floor, noticing here the stretch is now symmetrical. So probably feeling it equally around the whole back of the neck, up into the scalp, maybe even into the upper back. And always breathing. Steady inhale, steady exhale. Back to center. Looking up at the ceiling, right past where it meets the wall. And reminding the shoulders to relax down. Softening the eyes. And opening up the throat. Maybe even up into the top of the chest, upper shoulders. So small, simple movements, but very effective. Now, taking it from static into dynamic movement, look to the left, look to the right, going through your range of motion. And maybe notice if there's a place where it feels a little bit stuck, just filing that away. Back to center. Now, as though you were nodding your head yes. So your speed, if you're a little slower or faster at this movement than me and you're listening to your body, that's absolutely correct. So we started with holding the moves in a static position, now moving into dynamic movement. So again, we build a foundation and move on from that. Okay, last work for the neck. Bring the chin to one shoulder and let the head drop so it's like a semicircle. And you might notice some movement, little places stuck, maybe some snapping, crack, pop sounds. All good. And then back to center now. You can move your head, maybe open up your jaw, and notice how much more freedom hopefully you have. And now bringing your fingertips to the shoulders and bringing the elbows out front. And moving them around. So warming up the shoulder joints now. So moving from the neck, which also opened up the scalp and the top of the shoulders. Now we're just continuing to work. And move it to the other side. So other direction. And going through your range of motion. Now pause and bring the elbows towards each other. And notice here that you get a contraction on the front body and you're more of a stretch on the back body. And now the opposite way. So stretching out the pectoral, the chest muscles, which again help aid in breathing. And with much of our breathing associated, without us probably thinking about it, with the back body. So either way, we're opening up for more breath. Back and forth, again, your range of motion. Now release that down and hold on to your left tricep with your right hand. Let the shoulder drop and just pull that around. Notice if you can still feel the support of your feet into the floor, backs of the legs into the chair. And feeling that rootedness, that grounding of a stable base. Switch it to the other side, please. So remember, shoulder will want to automatically creep up, so we let it go down. And you're in charge of how much of a stretch you get. Now, bringing the left arm up and holding on to the elbow. And so every time you change the angle a little bit, it changes the stretch. In this position, able to access not just the arm, but probably the side body from the armpit down to the hip. And switching it to the second side. So let the arms drop and initiating from the shoulders. So lifting the shoulders up, and I know I've spent 20 minutes so far telling you to pull your shoulders away from the ears. Now I'm telling you to pull them towards the ears, so it's all good. So lift them up, back and around. And again, feel the shoulder blades on the back, and they glide like wings. So tips of the shoulder blades move away from each other. The bottom tips move towards each other, and we're just freeing them up to move a little more smoothly. Okay? Moving on to the hands. Bring the hands out in front with the fingers up. Spread the fingers wide, and so you're going to push something away from you. And let the fingers drop. So working with the wrists here. Again, spread the fingers. And always coming back to notice the support of your feet and body in the chair, and from that support, the ability to move. Fingers press up again. Fingers move down. And bring the palms towards each other, and as though opening up, and then bring the palms to face you. Bring the backs of the hands together. So open the palms up. Try and get the backs of the hands together. And so this is a great one for working out the wrists if you've been on a computer typing, maybe working with equipment, anything like that. It just frees up the wrists. So last one for the wrists. Just let them kind of spin around. You might hear them start to snap and everything. It's all good. Okay, so bring your, again, I'm mirroring you, bring your right leg up so that the ankle is right above the knee on the thigh. So this is a little bit of a hip opener. This is seated number 4 pose. And then coming forward and extending the arms out. So keep the tap foot active, so second toe, center of the knee, so that you're not sickling the foot. And the thumbs point up. And breathing. Maybe take it a little further, and only to the point where, of course, you're securing your chair. And breathing. Coming back and taking it to the other side. You may notice a difference in the sides. So this is the hip opener. And so the bottom knee, I have the knee directly over the foot. Then coming forward and extending out. And breathing. Coming back up. So extending the left leg out. I've got on my heel, toes are up. Come forward. Again, make sure that you feel secure. And extending the arms up. Press the heel into the floor. Notice I have a mat set up underneath my chair. So I've got a very secure base. And I'm not in a chair with wheels or rollers, which could be a very interesting class. And then take it to the other side. And breathing. Okay, angle. So again, make sure you feel secure in the chair. And ankle both your feet to the right. And the knees follow the feet. So I wouldn't twist my foot around, so I'm checking to make sure the knee is directly over the foot still, and I can shift my whole body actually a little bit. But again, I make sure that I've got a good seat here. And then extending the arms out in this version of Warrior Two pose. If you flip the palms up, and now flip the palms back down, but think about the outer rotation of the upper arms. Looking out over that extended arm and breathing. Feel like you're right in the middle, so you're not leaning forward into the future, back in the past. You're right here, right now. Let the arms go. Shift to the other side. So again, we're not careful not to torque the knees. So you only go to the extent that you can keep the center of the knee over the second toe. And I build the foundation, so I get straight from the bottom to the top and extending the arms here. Into the Warrior Two pose. And breathing. Notice hopefully a nice opening through the chest, the upper back, and press your feet into the floor. So feeling that foundation, from that foundation extending out. Coming back to the right again. So again, set the feet first. Backs of the legs are still in the chair. And now I bend at the waist, bringing my right hand onto the right side with the palm open for support. And extending the arm out in this version of side angle pose. And again, press the feet into the floor, and from the foundation, the ability to maybe extend a little more. And breathing. Back again to the left. So bringing the left forearm onto the thigh, palm open as I receive, keeping this shoulder back and extending the arm up. Keeping the head back so the neck long. Pressing the feet into the floor, and from that foundation, the ability to then extend out a little more. Coming back up, centering yet again, and feet straight ahead. Move just a little bit away from the chair back so you have a little bit of room to go to work with. And coming back to breath again. Inhaling, expanding out. Let the shoulders roll back, let the chest open up. And the head doesn't completely hang back, just looking up at the ceiling. So you're not straining the neck. And articulating through each vertebrae of the spine. And feel the spine opening and closing. And again, moving with breath. And so if your movement's slower or faster than mine, because you're following your breath, then absolutely fine. Okay, so the spine moves in 6 directions, so front and back, side bending, and we'll end with just a little bit of a twist. And we did a twist to start with, so just maybe notice that after a little bit of movement here, even though I was seated in the chair, that you get a little more freedom to move. Moving to the other side. Back to center. And extending one arm up. Extending the other arm up. And then ending symmetrically, both arms up. So again, feel the rootedness of your feet into the floor, backs of the legs into the chair, and from that, extending the torso up, fingers reaching towards the ceiling. And just as we started class, coming back to breath. And if you'd like to close your eyes or just gaze at the floor. And without trying to control it, just noticing. Just letting the breath breathe you. And thank you so much for joining me as part of Operation Remote Resilience. Please consider visiting the link below to make a donation, ensuring the continued accessibility of resources like these. Supporters like you make it possible for Warriors at Ease teachers like me to continue to serve those who serve. This is Lisa Blair signing off Operation Remote Resilience in Health, Resilience, and Connection.